Hello and welcome to A Roll of the Dice. My name's Paul, and tonight I want to discuss with you collectible card games. Now, the last few videos I've talked about my autism, journey in autism, and I will get back to that at some point, but I thought as we do like board games, we're involved in board games, I thought I'd discuss some of them. Now, if you've been reading my blog, I'm going through the history of my experience with board gaming, and my next blog should be about collectible card games. I was born in 1980, so I'm at the very, very edge of Generation X. So I came to late teens in the late 90s. And the late 90s really was kind of a golden age of collectible card games. There was a view that if you could take a product, whack it as a collectible card game, it would sell out. So you had every TV show from X-Files to 24, all had their own collectible card games. A lot of them have fallen by the wayside, which unfortunately some of my favourite ones have gone that way as well. Now, my first experience collecting collectible card games, or trading card games as they're sometimes known, was with the now out of print card game called Middle-earth. And it was really based on Tolkien's work, Lord of the Rings. It was the original one. You led a company of one of the five wizards that was shown in Tolkien's stories. And you were trying to lead the free people by gaining marshalling points and helping the free people to stand against Sauron. Eventually, expansions were released where there was one expansion where you had to try and get a dragon's hoard, another one where you had to try to, your wizard had fallen, and you had to try to pursue your own agendas. And they also released the opposing number, the ring race. The 9 ring race had their own way, their own cards. You could form companies. Although the gameplay I never found it particularly good, and there was nobody I really knew who played it. I really enjoyed collecting the cards, and there's quite an online following for it still. So although it's no longer printed, it still is about. There were other card games which I didn't really get into. Star Trek was a really big one. My brother and some of my friends really got into the Star Trek game. I didn't quite like it myself. Gave it a few goes, but I never really picked up on that. Another one we tried was the old Star Wars collectible card game. We gave that a try, and I never really got on very well with that one. So again, that was another one that went by the wayside. Eventually, in the early 2000s, Pokemon came out. Now, I never really got into Pokemon myself. To me, when it came out, a lot of children really got into it. So from my point of view, Pokemon was a kid's game. Now, those kids have now grown up and they still love Pokemon. My kids have given it a go, but unfortunately, I still live with that prejudice, so I never really got into Pokemon myself. There were some others, Legend of Five Rings, which I think is out of print. Magic the Gathering, that was popular back then. It seems to be one of the few that have survived right through from the beginning of collectible card games. It's still going strong from what I understand. Perhaps I may give that a go, but my favourite one was the out of print collectible card game of Babylon 5. Now, I'm a huge fan of Babylon 5, the TV series. Highly recommend watching it from the beginning. It was I'll discuss it in another video, but I am quite a science fiction fan, and I really enjoyed the Babylon 5 collectible card game. Now, one of the features I found for it was designed to have multiple players. So the original release, these two here that I've still got, were facing the humans of Minbari versus the Narn and Centauri. Now, what we used to do quite regularly is a group of 4 of us used to get together and we'd all take one of the 4 main races. I was the Narns, and it was you'd be playing against each other, trying to get your agendas, advance your agendas that you'd pick, trying to get enough influence points to win the game. And one of the things I used to really enjoy was when the conflict phase come up. So you'd have, for instance, a diplomatic conflicts. Someone would be playing a card, and you would have to try and find support using your cards. More often than not, you'd end up with all the players getting involved, taking sides, trying to outdo each other, endlessly counting to make sure you've got enough influence to support that or oppose that particular conflict. So that was one of the things I really enjoyed. So for me, when I'm playing a collectible card game, I'm kind of looking for that type of thing. Now, a lot of the collectible card games I've tried are more battle lines. So again, I've never really gone back and looked at it. Now, eventually, extra releases were brought out. The Great War release was brought out, which allowed you to play as the non-aligned, adding a fifth player in. It also allowed for home factions, which then you could have each major race had a Babylon 5 and a home faction. And eventually the Wheel of Fire, the sidecore decks were released, where you could play as Bester in the sidecore. And the Wheel of Fire was released, where you could play as Drak players. So by the time the Babylon 5 collectible card game had finished its run, there were quite a few factions. You could potentially play up to a dozen players in any one game. So you're still able to get them. It's still a favoured one. But for me, a collectible card game, any collectible card game I try in the future, will always be judged against what I remember and what I enjoyed playing with Babylon 5. During the 2000s, a lot of the collectible card games really fell by the wayside. Battlestar Galactica did bring out a card game, but I gave it a try, but it looked interesting, but it never really took off. And by that point, I'd really lost interest in the trading card genre of gaming, and moved on to other things which I will discuss in a later time. But I thought, as we have a channel on board games, I have a young son as well, he's 13. I thought, you know what, we'll give it a go, see what we think. So I managed to find online the Transformers 2-packs. So I managed to get hold of the Autobots Premium Pack and the Decepticon Premium Pack. Now, we're not going to do it in this video, but myself and Dolly are going to unpack these, give it a go, and then see what we think of them. Now, I chose these ones partly because when I was young, I was a small child in the 1980s. I did love Transformers. I had quite a few of them. I remember I had Bumblebee. I remember I had Ultra Magnus, Galvatron, and unfortunately, like a lot of the collectible toys that would be worth quite a lot of money nowadays, my mother managed to throw them all out. So all my old He-Man, Castle Grayskull, Snake Mountain, all my Star Wars toys, and unfortunately all my Transformer toys have long gone into the great dustbin that all of our toys ended up disappearing to. But because I did enjoy them, and I'm more of a Generation 1 fan of Transformers, so I go right back to the early 80s. But I thought it might be fun, as we're going to give a new trading card game a go, we'll give this one a go. Now, from what I understand, we've had a little go. There is an app where you can play them on your phone, so I don't really know how that will be, but what we will do is we'll finish this video here, and then we'll set up, do an unboxing, give it a go, and we'll give a verdict on whether we'll expand our collection of it, see what else there is, or perhaps try another one in the future. So if you are a fan of Transformers or any of the ones I've spoken about here, please feel free to comment, like and subscribe if you enjoy this video. We have some other videos out. My dad's now put his first video out about how to take photos of your models that you've lovingly painted, how to set up a studio at home. He's going to do a series of videos on how to do that in a cheap way as possible, using stuff you can buy from the local DIY shops. So I recommend you have a look at his videos. If you want to see examples of his photography, there's a link Instagram page where you can see a lot of his nature photos, you can see that he really does know what he's talking about, despite what I say. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.